Patriots win, they'll win the AFC East. It'll be the 8th title under Bill Belichick for New England. They're looking good in virtually every way, and 2 turnovers for Buffalo have been very opportunistic for the Patriots this afternoon.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Ryan Fitzpatrick fumble, and then a Ryan Fitzpatrick interception. Tom Brady takes the ball, turns it into 14 more points for the New England Patriots. So Patriots very opportunistic on offense and defense.
All right, now let's take a look at the Droid Pro Play presented by Motorola.
Well, first you get the block by the tight end, Rob Gronkowski, allowing Danny Woodhead to run 29 yards for a touchdown and a score. So excellent blocking up front at the point of attack, and then real good running for the Patriots. Right now they have a balanced attack. Their ability to run it and throw it with Tom Brady has proven to be potent for the Buffalo Bills.
And through 30 minutes of football, let's take a look at some of the numbers. I pointed out before during our little break seconds ago, 163 yards on the ground already for New England.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the balance of their ability to run it and pass it, but right now, if you look at the New England Patriots, the way they're running the football, 7 consecutive games, over 100 yards rushing, you give Tom Brady a balanced offense, the ability to run it, and the weapons he has around him, he's going to pick you apart. He's going to put a lot of points on the board.
Sammy Morris will take this at the 12. And he works his way. McGee got a hand on him, and Chandler, backup tight end, got him as well for the Buffalo Bills.
How did we get here? 24 points on the board for the New England Patriots. The offense has been really good, but the defense has been just as good. Forcing turnovers, getting the ball and shortening the field for Tom Brady, getting the ball over to Rob Gronkowski for a touchdown pass. Then an interception by Patrick Chung, creating opportunity. Touchdown, Brady. The Algie Crumpler, and the Patriots are on a roll. They can sense a #1 seed in the AFC playoffs.
Woodhead in the backfield from the 35, first down and 10 for Brady. Four defensive backs. There go the whistles and the flags. Not really had any snow flurries today. The wind has picked up with the wind chill down to about 5 above.
False start, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the center, Dan Copen.
One of the few mistakes we've seen this offense for the Patriots make today. And Bill Belichick really challenged this team all week. Says, hey guys, if we want to get to where we want to go, we have to play better. This coming off a win over the Green Bay Packers, I think he's got the players' attention. I'm sure he talked about it more at halftime.
On first and 15, Woodhead. Hit in the secondary by Leslie, the leading tackler. Gain of 7 on the play, and we'll spot him at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, week 3, over 200 yards rushing, or right at 200 against the Buffalo Bills. And are in the first half of today's game, 163 yards rushing. So they sense that this Bills run defense is weakening by the moment.
Second and 9. Woodhead has a touchdown run today. Stroud jumping on his back among a couple that make the stop. There's a gain of 4. He's up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 5.
The fact that they're able to get nice little chunk on that run by Danny Woodhead and create 3rd and 5 for Tom Brady. They feel that 3rd and medium should be easy to convert. Of course, they're going to have to go out and make the play. I think it starts with protection for Tom Brady. He'll make the throw to create a first down.
6 defensive backs, 3rd down and 5 for Tom Brady. That is Woodhead. A completion. Florence there. Gain of 4. And that is his 16th pass, his 9th completion. 308 without a pick, and he ties the all-time record of Bernie Kosar that bridged 90 to 91 when he was with the Cleveland Browns.
And why it's such a huge accomplishment, Tom Brady wanted a first down. He gets the completion. He's not happy with any NFL record. He wanted a first down more than anything.
Let's go to punt for the 2nd time for New England today, and Spiller is back inside the 15-yard line for the Buffalo Bills. Haven for the fair catch, and fair caught at about the 12. Spiller Fitzpatrick comes back out. He's fumbled and he has thrown a pick. His team down 24-3. Well, we just said it wasn't snowing, and sure enough, here come the snowflakes. Here comes the snow, and we're not going to get near the kind of snow they're expecting in Boston and up and down the eastern seaboard. But they do expect an inch perhaps at the most today and some snow tomorrow. 3 and out for the New England Patriots. 1st and 10 for Fitzpatrick from his 12. Jackson in the backfield. Wilfork got a hand on him. Kyle Love was in there as well. It's a gain of 3. He's up to the 15-yard line. And celebrate the best when America salutes Paul McCartney, Oprah, and more. It's a spectacular all-star evening at the Kennedy Center on Tuesday, and it's only on CBS. Second down and 7. And the wind is not going from end zone to end zone. It's going from the far sideline where the Patriots are to the near sideline where the Bills are. Jackson in the backfield. Offering a block, and a good one it is. It's picked off again. This time by Jared Page. That's the 3rd turnover. The 2nd interception thrown by Fitzpatrick, and there's a flag down on the play. Back at the 9.
And they're going over to talk to the Bills, it seems like. Don't want to speculate on who this could be on at this moment, but what a play by Page.
Personal foul, chop block, number 76, offense. The result of the play was an interception. By rule, the foul will be added to the end of the run, half the distance, 1st down New England.
Guard Chad Reinhardt was the one guilty for the offensive lineman. Fitzpatrick throws his 2nd pick. 3rd Buffalo turnover today.
There's the chop block right there.
Yep.
Going down, you can't go to the legs of a player if he's engaged. But what a play by Page. Understood they were blitzing. He just broke for that route right up under Stevie Johnson and made the pick. What do you think Tom Brady's going to do with this one?
I don't know, but you know he's got a lot of options. He's going to set the all-time record, complete or incomplete, on his next throw. He's tied now with Kozar. Green Ellis in the backfield. 1st and 10 at the 11. Jarris Bird dragging down Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis, they call him the law firm, down to the 8-yard line. He picks up 3.
Whatever they're going to do, you know it's going to probably result with Tom Brady and his offense sticking it into the end zone. They've relied on the run game, as we've talked about. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Danny Woodhead. They run the ball really well. You get inside the red zone, they run it, but Rob Gronkowski has been huge down inside the red zone.
2nd down and 7. Incomplete, but it is the record looking for Gronkowski. Whitner was dragging across the goal line with him. And now Tom Brady has gone 309 consecutive passes with no interceptions. And here's the interesting thing. It's all within one season. You see Kozar and Starr did it over the course, bridging one year to the next. This is all in one season by Brady. And
it's all led to winning football games. I think that's the thing that should be most duly noted.
3rd and 7 after the Fitzpatrick interception. Woodhead in the backfield with Brady. Good block by Light. Touchdown, Gronkowski. His homecoming has been perfect. An 8-yard touchdown reception by Gronkowski, matching the 8-yard touchdown reception he had earlier. Whitner was back there watching. Brady has thrown 3 touchdowns today, 2 to Gronkowski and 1 to Crumpler.
Yeah, Gronkowski's such a huge target. We talked about it at the top of the game, 6'6", 265 pounds, but still the speed to run away from Dante Whitner and get open. 9 touchdown receptions on the year for the rookie tight end. He now leads the Patriots, and he's really played himself into a prominent role on this offense.
And with an extra point, 31-3 New England. Brady has been terrific. His 3rd touchdown pass today. Gronkowski for a 2nd time. It's in downtown Buffalo, that lighthouse. You can see what this team has done offensively and what it means since 1970.
Yeah, I said if the Bills could hold them under that threshold of 30 points, they might have a chance of winning this game today.
It'll be short, and from the 15, this is Spiller. And Chung is the one to get him. Tackle for the Patriots, 19-yard return. Tom Brady has thrown 3 touchdowns today. He's got 34, which is #1 in the NFL. What a season. Jackson in the backfield after the New England kickoff from the 33, 1st and 10. 5 defensive backs for the Pets. Down the near side, looking for Jones. The catch, but was he? Yes, he was in bounds. Nice grab. Working on Arrington to the 27 of the New England Patriots, a 40-yard strike.
The last time Jones caught one on the sideline, he took a hit, blow to the head when he landed and hit the ground. But this one, he remains poised. This ball is thrown at another altitude and falls down out of the sky right into the hands of Jones. He's able to keep both feet in bounds. But what about the patience and concentration of Jones to be able to haul that one in?
1st down and 10. Cohen playing the nose tackle down that defensive line for the New England Patriots. Page comes in and knocks out Fred Jackson. Gain of 1 down to the 26. A lot of turnovers today for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and all by their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who normally very trustworthy with the ball. Here, he fumbles trying to get the ball out, not able to do it. Now the interception, Patrick Chung. Put more points on the board for Tom Brady and company. Then Jared Page able to get the 2nd interception on the day off Ryan Fitzpatrick. See the turnovers, 3 today by this Bills team, and Patriots only turned it over 9 times all season.
2nd down and 9 into the nickel. Nice catch there by Jones once again. And he picks up 4 on the play down to the 22-yard line. And coming off that pile, Gary Guyton. Spikes is, of course, suspended for a couple games here for the New England Patriots. Guyton takes his place at one of those linebackers. Of course, he's been there for a while. It started before to the 22-yard line.
I'll have to think that any Bills receiver catching the ball going over the middle of the field is looking out for number 51, Gerard Mayo.
Like swinging a baseball bat when it's cold and it stings your hand, it's got to even hurt more when it's this cold.
It hurts, period. But when it's this cold, yeah, it hurts all the more.
3rd and 5. It's batted down. This play right there, Vince Wilfork. You know, last week after the Green Bay win, and Wilfork played 74 of the 80 defensive snaps for New England, Belichick was just effusive in his praise for this 2-time Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he played over 70 snaps in that game. In his 7th year out of Miami, he's that stellar nose tackle in their 3-4 defense. He anchors the point. And when you're strong up the middle on defense, you're going to be pretty good. Vince Wilfork gives the Patriots that kind of presence on this defense. I think he allows them to play at a championship level. They have some young pieces around them, but they're going to continue to get better.
4th and 5, they'll go for it at the Patriot 22. Into the nickel. To the end zone for Jones. Incomplete. Nice coverage on the play by Darius Butler. Butler was right there with the coverage, battling a hamstring. On downs, the Bills turn it over again. On downs, the Bills turn it over to New England, 22-yard line. Ben Jarvis, Greenellis on 1st down and 10. Cuts. And then Jerish Bird gets him around the ankles to the 30, a gain of 8 on the play. 2nd down and 2. Ben Jarvis, Greenellis, he got by Aiken-Adell. And then he was hit by Stroud and Kyle Williams on a gain of a yard to the 31.
Let's take a look at some of the MVP candidates for the 2010 season. You know, Peyton Manning's a 4-time MVP candidate. And here's the thing. Michael Vick has played so well that you have to mention him as an MVP. He's the ultimate weapon, but none has played better in my estimation than Tom Brady. Came into today's game with 31 touchdown passes. You add another 3 to that. That's 34 on the year. He's playing lights out.
Morris in the backfield with Green Ellis on 3rd down and 1. Welker, his 3rd drop, and then he is drilled by Poswasny. I don't think I've ever seen Welker drop 1 pass, let alone 3 in 1 game.
Yeah, this is like an out-of-body experience. And Tom Brady's frustrated getting the ball to his favorite weapon, but watch what he does with it.
Oof. We are seeing some big-time linebacker hits in coverage today. Patriots 2nd 3 and out. Spiller back to retrieve the Mesco punt. Spiller, fair caught, 30-yard line. 38-yard punt. Ryan Fitzpatrick trudges back out on the field. He's thrown 2 picks today. Patriots have beaten the the Buffalo Bills 14 consecutive games. The Patriots come in 12-2. They just punted the ball, 1st and 10 from the 31 for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Spiller in the backfield and the call. Oh, and he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered on the play by Fletcher, unless they called him down. Let's see, they have ruled him down first. Fletcher's a young player out of Montana State. Spiller coughing it up right there.
Take a look, and you see him start ripping. There's Arrington pulling at the ball, but he goes down. Then the ball comes out. So I agree with the ruling. Down by contact. Oh, ball starting to come out.
Mayo had the hit along with Page. Now 2nd down. They're going to challenge it.
Yeah, I think this one has a chance of, after a second look, of being possibly overturned. I think that ball was starting to come out before C.J. Spiller, before his knee made contact with the ground.
Spiller has had 3 fumbles this season. And a lot of people have classified his rookie year as a disappointment. He has not gotten on track. I think they expected a lot more for the number 9 pick overall. He was the first running back drafted in the previous NFL draft.
He battled some hamstring problems.
Challenging the ruling on the field of the player down by contact.
We kind of knew that was going on, and we take another look at it. Let's see if the ball is coming out before C.J. Spiller makes contact with the ground. I think the ball is starting to come out right there.
I agree.
Before the knee has made contact with the ground, and we have clear visual evidence that that ball was coming out.
Mayo had the initial hit.
There you go.
And Page drilled him, but really Mayo may have been responsible for it as Fletcher jumped on the ball.
Well, I think Arrington began the process right there by starting to strip it out.
You're sure right. You are exactly right. That's a good call. And of course, this New England team has just been.
There it goes. Ball is starting to come out right now. It's there now. The knee comes down and hit the ground. So if we go back and we could freeze it before the knee makes contact with the ground, then we'll be able to see if that ball is coming out. See, knee is down, ball's coming out.
Patriots.
Take a look at it once more. Take a look at the knee. Is that ball coming out? Now the knee is down, but if we can move it back, see a little bit. See the ball's out? That ball is starting to come out, but yet his knee has not made contact with the ground. That's a fumble.
And would be the 4th turnover for Buffalo today. In contrast, Belichick's Patriots have gone 6 consecutive games, now 6.5 games without a turnover. That is an NFL record. 9 turnovers all season. You know about Brady's no interception streak of 309 passes.
Did you enjoy our conversation with Bill Belichick yesterday? You leave the room after talking with him, you feel a little bit smarter.
But you know what happens? We always say on the air, we've enjoyed this talk. We talk, you talk to the Boston media, and they say they never see that side of him.
They don't get anything
No.
from him. He doesn't tell you anything. But then if you start to talk football, the fundamentals of the game, and all the things that's right with this league, and he begins to just really give you all kind of hidden gems and so much information. It makes you better at what you do because he knows the game so well.
Well, think of this. They're going to win their 8th division title under Bill. And if things continue the way they are, number 1 seed, home field, and a first-round bye.
Prior to the player being down by contact. and New England did recover the ball clearly. Therefore, it will be New England's ball, 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 34-yard line. Please reset the clock to show 8 minutes. 8 minutes, please. New England will not be charged with a timeout.
4 turnovers, 3 in their own territory. Not a good day. 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, you can't give the Patriots the ball 4 times, 4 extra possessions. They will turn it into points. Already 21 points. And now after this 4th turnover, they're looking to add to that.
So here comes Brady again, who's had a 10-19 day, 87 yards through the air, 3 touchdown passes, all to his tight ends, 1 to Crumpler, 2 to Gronkowski. Gronkowski, by the way, has 9 touchdown receptions. That ties Junior Miller for 2nd most among rookie tight ends in the history of the NFL. Ditka had 12. 1st and 10 from the 34. Good block by Light. There goes a flag. There goes another. Brady has got Crumpler. What a catch inside the 5 with the tackle made on the play by Aiken-Adell. That's a 31-yard pickup.
Holding number 70. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And that's Logan Mankins, left guard.
Tom Brady said, what do we have to do? let's call another play. And Logan Mankins said, yeah, you got me there. This is one of those teams, they don't panic. They understand it was a negative play and took one of the best plays so far off the board. But you could bet they're going to come back and dial up yet another one here on what would be 1st and long.
Into the nickel, 1st and 20 for Brady with Woodhead at his side. And looking for Branch. Coverage by, well, there's a late flag thrown in from the side. There's a flag thrown at the 39. That linesman throwing that from the near sideline. And into the wind, too. Not bad.
Nice toss.
What'd you say? You thought the wind is coming right in our booth.
Offensive pass interference. Number 87, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
That's for rookie Rob Gronkowski with 2 touchdown receptions today. There's Bob Kraft and his wife Myra. And, 17 years.
New England.
17 years he has owned this franchise. Bought it back in '94. 3 Super Bowl wins, 5 conference championships. Now this will be another playoff season for him. And, we're in Ralph Wilson Stadium, and Mr. Wilson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Bob Kraft's influence goes beyond just New England. The new stadium, the success, getting Belichick, drafting Brady, but extends to, the entire league, and his counsel is very much appreciated league-wide. As you take a look at Ralph Wilson, now, about his 5th decade in owning this franchise here in Buffalo.
I think both owners obviously have contributed to the growth and development of the National Football League, and Ralph Wilson has his rightful place in Pro Football's Hall of Fame, and I think Bob Kraft may join him there someday.
I think so. 1st and 30. 1st and 30. They need the 24-yard line. With a quick hitter. And Woodhead picks up on the play about 5. And down to the 47. When if he continues on this same trajectory, Brady will probably finish in the top 5 all-time in touchdown passes.
He is one of the great quarterbacks, I think, in the 91-year history of the National Football League. I think he ranks up there with some of the best to ever play.
2nd and 24. And undershooting his receiver, who is Woodhead, at about the 48-yard line. Well, they've got this gigantic 31-3 lead. Well, he looks tight.
See?
He's only thrown for 87 yards, but how much longer does Bill Belichick keep him in?
Well, I think, Tom Brady wants to continue to play. Now, if they clinch it, the #1 seed in the AFC, I think that's a question for next week. And I think everyone will start. But you think about what happened to Wes Welker in the season finale last year, I think that's going to weigh heavily on the coach's mind.
That's a good point. 3rd and 24. Woodhead blocked by Tate. And a tackle by Puslesny and Whitner down about the 33-yard line. A catch and run of 15. Still shy of the 1st down. So it'll be 4th down for the New England Patriots at the Buffalo 33.
And little Danny Woodhead, he continues to impress. I'm sure everyone asks, where did the Patriots find these guys like Wes Welker, Danny Woodhead, and Julian Edelman?
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Well, they coach them up, they develop them, they teach them, give them a role, and watch them excel.
4th and 9. Great time to the end zone, and he overshoots his receiver. That was Tate. On downs, the Patriots turn it over. McKelvin was defending. So it is 1st and 10 for the Buffalo Bills at the 33. Fitzpatrick with a couple of picks. And Jones with an incompletion. 2nd down and 10. CBSSports.com is streamlining its award-winning fantasy games to create an even better fantasy experience. Visit CBSSports.com/sneak preview to sign up for an alert when fantasy games launch. 2nd down and 10. We hate to complain about the weather because we know there's about 2 feet of snow headed toward Boston. So we're not going to complain about the weather.
Well, we can a little bit because the wind is blowing right into our booth. I'm taking it personal.
You are, aren't you? 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick into the teeth of that wind. And he's got Roosevelt, Naaman Roosevelt, who's working on Merriweather. That's a 1st down to the 48-yard line of New England, a 19-yard strike.
Fitzpatrick going to continue to fire it, going right into the middle of that defense, and I'm sure Roosevelt's looking for Gerard Mayo. Nowhere to be found, so he's going to come down with it. Nice throw, nice catch.
Roosevelt, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, with his first NFL receptions last week in Miami. Local kid who was a record-setting receiver at the University of Buffalo. 1st and 10. Jackson in the backfield. Oh, Kyle Love with the sack. Starting today, his first NFL start, a guy who has come along for Bill Belichick, and they continue to patch up that defensive line.
Watch the big guy just continue to push the pocket. He began the game at nose tackle and what we call that zero technique. Then they kick him out to play defensive end, and now he's starting to get pressure on the quarterback where everyone on this Patriots defense know that the Bills have to throw the football.
2nd sack for that New England defense, which comes in today, number 28. It's 2nd down and 14. Blitz. And there goes Fitzpatrick on the run. Oh, and he fumbled the ball. And looks like the New England Patriots have jumped on it with the 5th turnover today, as Moore is down. Eric Moore
On the
with the ball. With the ball, the former United Football League lineman, Moore.
Fitzpatrick is just trying to make a play, but like he's done so often today, he just doesn't protect the football. It has to be priority number 1. And look, there it's stripped. That's where the ball is just pulled out, and look at the hustling New England Patriots defenders. I think it's Moore who knocked Fitzpatrick off the ball and is able to recover it himself.
Brady is still in. Here is a 1st and 10 handoff. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and was hit quickly on that line by Alex Carrington. No gain on the play. So it was a very tough thing to look at. As you can see, the 5 turnovers for the Bills, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles by the quarterback alone, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
You know, we go back weeks ago before the Vikings game. We talked to Chan Gailey. We said, is Ryan Fitzpatrick the quarterback of the future? He says, I don't have to make that decision today. Let's let this thing play out. I think some of the things that we saw happen today, if you put the season together, I still think that that position could be open in the future.
Here comes Kelsey, and down goes Brady, who was sacked 3 times by Green Bay last week. That's a loss of 7. That's the first sack by the Buffalo Bills. Kelsey records it, his 3rd sack of the season.
Well, Kelsey can rush the quarterback with some of the best in the National Football League. And you see him coming in from the blind side. And Brady sees him at the very last minute, but not before Kelsey can get him on the ground.
Brady Sacked for the 25th time this season. 3rd down and 18. They need the 47. And that is Woodhead. Brought down by Scott. And a 13-yard catch to the 42. Shy of the first down, and New England will punt.
Still, Brady gets the completion. Woodhead checking out of the backfield. And what did Gailey tell us? The reason why this offense is so difficult to stop is that every single player forces you to have to defend them, whether it's the wide receivers, the running backs, or the tight ends.
Esco to punt, and Spiller is back inside the 20. Here comes the snow again. And about the hardest it has fallen today. Spiller will let it bounce. And a nice New England roll to about the 9. And that's where it'll be now. And tomorrow on CBS, get hooked on television's #1 news show, Hawaii Five-0. And congratulations to Golden Globe nominee Scott Kahn. Don't miss Hawaii Five-0 tomorrow. And a new episode January 3rd, only here on CBS. So here come the Buffalo Bills. 5 turnovers today. Brady has thrown 3 touchdown passes. The Buffalo Bills have had 2 red zone possessions, resulting in a field goal and a turnover. And they've had 2 balls going back to New England on downs in New England territory. And then a fumble the last time by Fitzpatrick, by the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Jackson in the backfield, and the call for Jackson. Page had a hand on him. You can see him wiggling around, and looked like Landon Cohen got over there and made the stop along with Will Forkengate. It's a gain of 3, and they'll spot him at the 13.
Kevin, this score is quite surprising. Let's face it, the Bills have been in a number of very close games. They have won 4 of their last 6 after an 0-8 start. They played in a lot of very close games. We remember a game against Pittsburgh where they had it won in overtime. Stevie Johnson drops the ball. And even Tom Brady said, you know, even the last several times that they played the Bills, they've all have been hard-fought games. And even though the Patriots have won 15 in a row, they have not come easy.
It's 2nd down and 7. Jackson again. And then was whacked on the side by Chung. Gain to about the 19. Pickup of 6 on the play. He's got an interception already today, does Patrick Chung.
I think we can give a lot of credit to Bill Belichick. I think going back to that win last week against Green Bay, and Tom Brady said, yeah, you know, Coach Belichick had to challenge us. Even though we had won consecutive games in a row, that's just, I think, Bill's way of getting his team ready for a postseason run in the playoffs.
What do you say in the meetings? Merry Christmas, guys. All right, now the Buffalo Bills come in having won 4 of 6 games. Here's a 3rd and 1. Looking into the wind and into the snow is Fitzpatrick. Down the near side for Jones. Well, broken up nicely on the play by Darius Butler. Butler was right there, knocking it away. 3 and out. Bills have got to punt once again.
This kid, Darius Butler, has improved his game. We last saw him week 3, and the Buffalo Bills really torched him. He didn't play well. He was caught out of position, but today he's been in position. He's made plays on the ball. I think he's shown improvement from week 3 to now, and they're going to need his presence if they're going to go deep into the postseason. They're going to need to play very well on the back end in their secondary.
Ryan Moorman to punt. He backed Julian Edelman. Short, high, Edelman on his knees, as you can see, at the 44. Fair caught 37-yard punt. Brady is in, 45-yard line, 1st and 10. And Gronkowski hit by Florence, and the gain to the 40-yard line. He picks up 15 and a 1st down. He's had 2 touchdown receptions today, and he's from nearby Amherst, Williamsville High School.
Isn't that something? So he gets the return home and doing what he's always done. Going up, pulling down the ball, and landing in the end zone. Kid always had a knack for scoring touchdowns.
His brothers did too. His brothers play in the NFL, one with Denver and one with Detroit. Bob's had a nice day. 9 touchdown receptions now in the season. 1st and 10. Green Ellis in the backfield. Crumpler with a nice block on Kelsey. A short pass right there, and that was grabbed by Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis. Gain of 3 down to the 37-yard line. Brady now 14 of 25. He's had 3 drops by Welker, 133 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I would say that for Bill Belichick, he's going to start thinking about next week against Miami, then a week off to get ready for the postseason with his team on top here. Welcome back to Buffalo. This season, more people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. Tom Brady with 3 touchdown passes. He's got it now. 2nd down 7, beginning the 4th quarter. From the 38-yard line, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. And hit by Pleswesny. Brought down at the 31-yard line, close to a first down. Picks up 6 on the play. How about Brady? He's got 2 undrafted running backs in Woodhead and Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He's got 2 rookie tight ends. He's got an offensive line that has seen a lot of movement because of injuries and other things. And here he is with this kind of season. He's thrown 34 touchdown passes. The streak of unintercepted balls. A very, very incredible season.
He said coming into the season the one thing he wanted to improve upon was his leadership.
3rd down and 1. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Spencer Johnson was there with a initial hit and a gain of a yard. Spencer makes the stop, and they will move the chains. 1st and 10 for the New England Patriots.
Talk about Tom Brady wanting to improve the leadership. He knew he would have all those moving parts that you just mentioned, Kevin, around him. The young tight ends, a group of young wide receivers and running backs, and he felt he had to pull them all together.
1st and 10, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Stroud, Whitner, right there with the stop after a gain of 4. Down to the 26. Green Ellis now, 17 carries, 89 yards, and coming into today, as he goes for 1,000, needed 176. So next week against Miami, unless something drastic happens here, he may get over that hump. It will be the first time Solomon, a Patriot running back, has been over 1,000 yards since Corey Dillon back in 2004.
And the key thing is they used a committee of backs to get the production they need.
2nd and 6, Green Ellis again. Blocked by Wendell. And that Wendell block opens up a gain of 5 with the tackle by Aiken Adele at about the 21.
This offense, talk about their ability to run it. Whether it's Danny Woodhead, whether it's Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, whether it's Sammy Morris or Fred Taylor. At the end of the day, they're going to get the rush yards, whether it's by one guy or by a committee of people. But I think Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis has given them the most consistency.
Morris in the backfield, 3rd and 1 with Green Ellis. Ben Jarvis darting inside, 1st down run to the 12. And a gain of 9 on the play and hit by Spencer Johnson. And a 1st down for the Patriots.
And watch the physicality of Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Look at him. Nice vision, good cut coming downhill, running the football. And that's why he's been accredited with 12 rushing touchdowns coming into today's game. 216 rushing yards today. That's their season high, the best they've run the ball all season long.
927 yards on the season. 1st down and 10. Handoff, Fred Taylor in for the first time today. Well, it's good to see Fred Taylor back in their loss of 3, back to the 15. He was a healthy scratch last week, a little bit of a surprise. And you think about Fred Taylor, you think about one of the great running backs in the history of the NFL. 34-year-old Fred Taylor, most of his years with Jacksonville.
Yeah, over 10,000 career rushing yards. In fact, over 11,000 with 66 rushing touchdowns in 13 NFL seasons. So he is one of the best to ever play the game. I mean, those numbers are really important and very productive.
2nd down, 13, 9th play of the drive. Good block by Vollmer. But maybe Kelsey, and he did. Kelsey got a hand on that pass. Intended across the way for Taylor.
Tom Brady just wanted to get this one over to Fred Taylor. Slips out of the backfield. There it is. But then watch number 90, Kelsey, the left of screen. He bats it down. Tom Brady wanted to get it over to Fred Taylor. But Kelsey, nice heads-up play.
Brady had 15 completions last week against Green Bay. Of course, the offense was hardly on the field. He's got 14 this afternoon. 3rd and 13. Brady. Welker holds on to this one. Shy of the first down. Hit by Whitner. Banged on the play by Podlesny. It's a pickup of 7 on the cross. He's down to the 7. Is Welker.
Sometimes you ask, why are guys still in the ball game with the score being what it is in the 4th quarter? But you know, if you're Wes Welker and you dropped 3 balls earlier in the game, wouldn't you want an opportunity to redeem yourself before getting on that plane ride home?
Here's a field goal by Shane Graham. 26-yard try. And it is 34-3 New England. Well on their way to another AFC East championship. We're back in Buffalo, coming up on the Subway postgame show. James Brown, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores and highlights. All coming up on the Subway postgame show. Patriots are tied with Atlanta coming into this weekend with the best records in the NFL. Boomer Esiason and I will be in Atlanta tomorrow night for the broadcast of the Saints and Falcons. That'll be a very good game. In the NFC, kickoff, Graham, Spiller, from the 7. Look out, here comes Slater, here comes Page, and there goes Spiller to the 15-yard line. And brought down on the play by Tracy White. It's Patrick back out there for the Bills. That's the USS Little Rock. No, now that is not the USS. That's people wonder what Santa Claus's son does in the days after the big event.
His little helpers there.
And his elves. After the field goal, 26 yards for the New England Patriots, and the subsequent kickoff by Spiller from the 15. 1st and 10 for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he's got Stevie Johnson. Chung from behind. A tackle at the 29. Quick slant of 14 yards and a gain and a first down for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson on the quick slant coming from right of screen. He's really good in terms of creating yards after the catch. If Chung doesn't haul him in right there, he could be running a long way.
Spiller is in. And 1st and 10. 5 defensive backs out there for the New England Patriots. Here's Jones. How about Wilfork? Loss of a yard of the play back to the 27-yard line. This game was very much in danger of being blacked out. And then a local businessman, as Stevie Jackson's just gone over 1,000 yards. A local businessman here, 77-year-old Russell Salvatore, bought those tickets to lift the blackout. Tickets went to members of the military and charitable organizations. He owns Russell's Steaks, Chops, and More. It's on Transit Road here in Buffalo. And he said, nice little Christmas present to my friends, my neighbors here in Buffalo.
That's a Bills fan being a true patriot in every true sense of the word.
Well said. 2nd down and 11. And Spiller with the dance on the sidelines. McCourty knocks him out of bounds. They get the first down to the 41-yard line. It's a catch and run of 13 yards.
Yeah, they do have great fans here in Western New York. Cheer for this Buffalo Bills football team as you take a look at the throw from Ryan Fitzpatrick over to C.J. Spiller. He creates a first down. You know, the fans, they come out and they support this team. And even in cold temperatures, they brave these temperatures and conditions to come out and root for their team, who have struggled for the most part this year.
1st and 10 from the 41 with Spiller in the backfield and the handoff. And then you see the pile that brings him down. Gain of 4, and he's to the 45-yard line. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS wraps up the regular season and sets up the playoffs with a doubleheader. Check local listings beginning with the NFL Today, and please note that our lineup is subject to flex scheduling. We'll know something by tonight or tomorrow, we're told. And then you will know through your local media outlets. Second down and 6. Fitzpatrick today, 15 of 30, 2 interceptions, going for Spiller. We had a great catch earlier in the game along the sideline, that time working with Page, and Merriweather was in the vicinity as well. So it'll be third down and 6.
Yeah, Page is one of those veteran safety that comes over. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, then comes over and now has found himself a niche on this football team. And that's what they tell the players. Hey, you create a role. And I think he's done that in some of their sub packages and on passing downs where he's a very smart and heady player. And I think he could end up being a factor for this team as they move forward.
Nickel out there for the Pats, third down and 6. Fitzpatrick. Oh, and a great throw. What a terrific throw and catch. Naaman Roosevelt working on Chung. Down to the 25 of the New England Patriots. A 30-yard completion.
Chung is in man-to-man coverage over on Roosevelt, left side of your screen, going up top. There's your throw and catch. I gotta believe if Fitzpatrick put this one out over the top, allow him to run under it a little bit better, he might even score a touchdown on that one. Chung was very close in coverage.
There's a player in Roosevelt, undrafted, came to Buffalo's camp, was cut, re-signed to the practice squad, stayed there for 11 weeks, developed, and here he is now 2 consecutive weeks with multiple receptions, first and 10. Maybe a busted play. Fitzpatrick hits the deck at about the 25. No gain. And tripped up on the play by Tully Banza-King.
You have to wonder, why did he not give the ball right there in front of him to Fred Jackson? Everyone else is playing it as a run play except the quarterback.
Of course, he's still fighting for a job for next year, too. Everybody thinks it's just set in stone, but they're going to address every game, every throw.
I think they're going to evaluate the quarterback position, other positions as well for the Buffalo Bills. There's some good quarterbacks coming out in the drive.
Here's Jackson on second down and 10. Merriweather was right there. Third and 3. In Jacksonville, the last I saw, they were tied at 10. The Jets are down by 4 in Chicago. Third and 3. Looking for Jones. And Chung was over there thinking that he was shoved on the play. No yellow on the field, and that pass was intended for Donald Jones.
Patrick Chung doing all he can. And this is where, if you're in the defensive secondary for the Patriots, you look to be able to close out this game by making a play. And you know that Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Bills, they're throwing it just about on every single down, but you have to have your wits about you, have an understanding of their personnel groupings in terms of what they want to do with the football, and see if you can jump one of these passes from Ryan Fitzpatrick, create an interception.
Fourth down and 3 now with Jackson in the backfield for Fitzpatrick. He's got his receiver Roosevelt. From behind with a vicious tackle was McCourty. It's a gain of 4. They've got the first down to the 14-yard line.
Take a look at the throw. Eyeing the receiver the whole way. Nice little toss and catch. Over to Roosevelt.
There's this defense with a lot of pride right now. The Bills have only gotten a field goal. That was on the opening drive of the game when they got a 26-yarder. And the defense of the New England Patriots right now pitching a shutout in terms of touchdowns allowed. They'd like to keep it that way. First and 10 from the 14. Jones, blocked from Roosevelt. And then all kinds of guys making the stop. Warren flying in. Gain of 3 down to the 11.
Right now, Kevin, Ryan Fitzpatrick has his own streak. 15 consecutive games of tossing a touchdown pass. Throws on today, that would be 16 consecutive games. So we look at the scoreboard and say, well, what are they out there still competing for? There are a number of different things that, you know, each player have individual goals and streaks, but even collectively, they want to continue to play hard.
On On second down and 7 from the 11-yard line. Fitzpatrick to the end zone, and that sails over the head of his intended receiver, Roosevelt, who was standing about a yard deep in the end zone, and incomplete. 3rd and 7. Fitzpatrick, 18 of 36.
You can see Bill Belichick and his group, they're over there coaching hard. They're trying to put the best grouping in there defensively as Deion Branch looks on at the scoreboard. Bill Belichick trying to get the right personnel grouping for what he expects from this offense for the Buffalo Bills.
13th play of the drive is started back at the Buffalo 15-yard line. From the Patriot 10. He was looking for Johnson. It was almost picked off by Chung, and that is a flag. Roosevelt may be whistled offensively. Chung just about had his second pick.
Holding, number 52. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Dane Fletcher.
Pass nearly intercepted by Patrick Chung. Here he is coming over here right there in that part of the screen. And I think they said number 52 said that Fletcher was holding on to the intended receiver as he crossed his face.
Fletcher played college football at Montana State, grew up playing hockey, and that's really what he wanted to do, was be a hockey player, and then got burnt out on that. He played defensive line in college. He's inside linebacking here in the NFL. 1st and goal at the 6 for Fitzpatrick. Jackson in the backfield. That's broken up and intercepted inside. Or let's see, no, dropped. Fletcher thought he had it. It is an interception. Let's see.
Looks like
Yep,
Fletcher
it is.
caught
Yeah, he must have gotten it. He had the interception, and we couldn't tell. There were so many bodies around. We couldn't tell if it hit the ground. Let's watch it again. Brady set the record for pass attempts without an interception. Brian Hoyer, 2 years out of Michigan State, is the new quarterback.
False start, number 70. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Logan Mankin, so far this year, Brian Hoyer, 0 of 2 in passing. On the clock at 3:31. And the Patriots are right over their 13th victory and 6th win on the road. Finishing up next week against Miami and Foxborough. Woodhead, he's got a touchdown run today of 29 yards. No gain right there. 2nd down and 10 from the 15.
Going back to Tom Brady, I'm a huge fan of what Mike Vick is doing in Philadelphia. But I think for what Tom Brady is doing, I think he's our clear MVP of the 2010 season. I love what he's doing individually, but more importantly, what he's doing for his football team. There was a lot of question marks on this offense, a lot of question marks for this football team, and where he has them, I think it's worthy of an MVP award.
2nd down, 15. Here comes Woodhead. In the corner, bumping heads with Drayton Florence. Knocked out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Picks up 5.
Your thoughts on the MVP, Ken?
I like Brady. I think it's a no-brainer. Vick has had this tremendous season in light of where his life has steered him to and where he has gotten back on track. But Brady's season has been remarkable in so many ways, and what he means to this team, his efficiency, his leadership, the whole package is, I think, without peer right now in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he deserves it. To say it going into last year, he was coming off that knee injury, and so much of his time was dedicated to rehabilitation. So take a look at Brian Hoyer.
He is met with a bear hug at about the 21-yard line by Preslesny. That is a gain of a yard.
Going back to Brady coming into this season, he said, I was just able to focus on my teammates, or just try to how we could be a better football team. And I think with the patience of a great coaching staff and then a real cerebral quarterback with his physical talents, I think it's all come to fruition in terms of where they sit right now. They're going to get a bye week in the postseason, and they'll be able to refuel and re-energize themselves, and boy, they're going to be a force in the second season.
They'll take this to the 2-minute warning. He says he has no routine either. I said, what's your Saturday night routine? He says, I don't have a routine. I just do it until I feel like I'm prepared.
Yeah, he keeps going over that call sheet till he knows it secondhand, every single play on it.
He had 3 touchdown passes today for New England. Spiller is back for the Buffalo Bills inside the 35-yard line. New England is going to win their 7th consecutive game, going to 13-2. Spiller with the catch, bobbled it, and there it goes. A turnover to the 35-yard line. Another turnover by Buffalo, the 7th today. After the punt fumble by Spiller, recovered by Sergio Brown, the New England Patriots take over. 7 turnovers for Chan Gailey's Buffalo Bills today. And the New England Patriots have beaten the Buffalo Bills for the 15th consecutive time. Patriots have clinched the best record in the AFC. They get a first-round bye. They win the AFC East. They have home field throughout. 7 consecutive games without a turnover. That continues their NFL record. We can tell you that Tom Brady has had now at least 2 touchdown passes and no picks for 8 consecutive games. And
they've now gone 10 of their 15 games this year where they have not turned the ball over. They've just done a wonderful job of protecting the ball. I think Bill Belichick will tell you himself that if you don't turn the ball over, you stand a real high chance of winning football games.
History is on your side, too. So that'll be it. And the New England Patriots will beat the Buffalo Bills 34-3. Tom Brady finishes with 140 yards through the air, and for the 2nd consecutive week finishes with 15 completions. That equals the fewest of any game this year, including Green Bay. He did throw 3 touchdowns to his tight ends. Coming up, the Subway postgame show. We take you to New York for all the scores after this.